Jeez, you go away for a month and then you forget how to do everything. How we doing, everybody? We're back! He has to be acting up. Nah, it's just the update. Ugh. Like, reset mic to default, which is nothing. It's nothing. There's nothing attached to default. We are so back, exactly right. Oh, jeez. It's been a month. It feels so weird. I'm not in the rhythm of it anymore. But yes, I'm doing well. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I don't know. Well, I don't know who knows it and who doesn't because I try to make it as clear as possible. But, it's like not everyone obviously not everyone watches every video, not everyone sees all social media posts. So I've been overseas and I just came back the other day. So I've been resting up as I really needed to. Uh so shaking off all the tiredness, all the fatigue, all the whatever. And now I have to shake off the rust. Wait, what? Did you find the One Piece? The One Piece is real. No, no. But I found a bunch of other things. Yeah, I've spent the last month on a bit of a pilgrimage across Europe, from Portugal to France. It was a good trip, obviously, but I was there there for 3 weeks, a little over, and it was good. It was mainly visiting a lot of the old churches and religious sites. So I did find the One Piece. I did find the Holy Grail. That sounds lovely. Praise the Lord, you're back safe. Oh, you have no idea. Oh, you have no idea. We were so worried. We were so worried because I don't know who knows and who doesn't, but because of my perfume allergy makes any any outing, anytime I leave the house, a potential risk. One Piece is better. Oh boy, we're gonna have a fight between the One Piece fans and the Fate fans in chat. So any outing becomes scary because my face can just explode and take me out for a week. But luckily, it's not that it didn't happen, but we were able to keep a lid on it. And I was able to enjoy the trip, which was good. We were really scared that there might be a medical emergency or something like that. I didn't. It didn't happen. Praise the Lord. And we're back, all safe and sound. A little sick, a little sniffly, but not worse for wear. There, we'll have plenty of time to talk about that. While we talk, I'm just gonna be playing Peak in the background. I did right before I put up stream, so I'm doing a little bit of achievement hunting. I have most of the achievements in the game, especially the ones that don't rely on it being multiplayer. The ones I don't have are going through without fall damage, no trace, but there's also another achievement for doing a bunch of doing a bunch of rope. So either one, if we get a bunch of rope at the start, we do that one, and if we don't get a bunch of rope, we do no trace. I have to eat a bunch of shrooms, and I've not been able to play Root at all, so all of those achievements need to be gotten. We need to get you a Robo Nose? Oh, you have no idea. A robo nose would be awesome. Whenever I have a reaction, I have a stuffy nose for weeks. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I just need robo sinuses. Giving me so much trouble through my life. Especially now. What I wouldn't give. Now, keep an eye on the internet. Before I left, we were having troubles. We think it's solved now. We're not entirely sure why they started to begin with. Oh. Okay? What? A, a checkpoint flag. Okay, that's new. Might as well give you the RoboCop treatment at this rate. Honestly, yes. Honestly, yes. What my joints are whack. My sinuses are whack. At this point, it'd be a mercy. I don't know. This ain't right. Being a little laggy. Should not be laggy. Okay, I think that fixed it. Yeah, it's bad. I okay, why? Why is this? That should not be happening. I'm going to try... This should not be happening. I've run this game on top settings with freaking mods that... with the crazy mods. It should not be... I know sometimes my... Sometimes my mouse stutters. It might be the new update. It could be. Maybe I try booting it up in one of the different... That should not be happening. Worst case, I might have to restart the computer. Try booting up with Vulkan. I love my new computer, but one of the things that I don't understand is sometimes my mouse will stutter. And I have no idea why. Okay, there is one thing I can do. Let's unplug the controller. Make sure that's not interfering. Drivers for the mouse? Maybe? The thing is, I have the problem with any wireless mouse I've used so far. That's the thing. And it's not all the time. It's almost seems to be random. Okay. Seems smooth now? Ami! Welcome! Long time no see. Ah, yes, wireless does that, which is why I still go for gaming at least. I can't believe that you're French. It's true. It's true. Let's see if I can remember the keybinds. I am a French! There we go. That's what you get. Okay, this seems to be better now. The thing is, I will say, like, I've never had that problem with my mouse on any of my other computers. Just been this one, but I don't know. Computers are magic rocks. I don't understand them. Nah, welcome, Mommy. It's good to see you. But yes, I have returned. I have returned from my adventure. Now get back into the voice. Okay, as you wish. It may surprise you to know that despite being in France for so long, I'm dying. Oh, I'm dying. My accent has not gotten any better. If anything, it has probably gotten worse. My brain is so dead. I am still recovering from the trip. It feels like my head is filled with bricks. The same bricks that make the Arc de Triomphe. Bonjour. I feel like I'm having the same problem I have with like Spanish, where because of one specific character I do, it's supposed to be like really sultry. Whenever I do the Spanish accent, it inevitably ends up going into the sultry voice, even when I'm not trying to, and I have to like actively stop and pace myself to do just an ordinary Spanish accent with no inflection, no character voice, just my voice, as if I were Spanish. I think it's the same thing with French, where I'm so used to doing the funny voice that if I try to do the actual, like, pseudo kind of sort of Spanish accent, like actual, like, bonjour, au revoir, bon appetit. I think it's like I have to stop to think about it. Where am I? Yeah, I wasn't joking about my like my robo sinuses. I need them. I need them. I think I got mildly sick, old or something. Woo. No, what was I saying? I forgot. Oh, oui, your mother was a hamster, yada yada. Silly English cognigates. I've said I wish I was enough on the spectrum to memorize that whole movie. I wish. French. Oui, I am French. I am from France. The best country in the world. You know, I'll probably do better with me than pronouncing French via Duolingo, maybe. Avec. Avec. It. Omelette de fromage. That's all the French you need to know. I know, I'm there. I beat you to it. Stream delay, I beat you to it. Omelette de fromage. No, it was a good trip. I don't know if you saw it on me on X. I'll admit I didn't renew my my premium. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not sure, but I definitely have hit. Even though not many people see the post anyway, I still have felt the hit of not as many people seeing it. But yeah, I was able to. I spent a day or two actually in Lourdes, and that was awesome. And then we spent a few days in Paris, got to go to the Eiffel Tower, all that. It was a really great trip. It was jam-packed, though. It was very much move, 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 go, go, go. From one place to the next, which is good. And then we got to see a lot, but also, oh my goodness, I'm tired. And I don't want to so much as look at a car or a train or a plane for like a month. Because we started in Portugal. And then made our way through Spain and ended in Paris. Paris. Uh-huh. Oh no! I have been a trip with her! What am I going to do? Oh no, I'm dying again. Look what you made me do. I have tea, it's okay. I have tea. Tea will save me. Yeah, that's why there's been no, that's why I've been off the map, literally off the grid for the last 3 weeks. And I have no idea. Well, we'll talk about it a little bit as the stream goes on. I have no idea what the next few weeks are gonna look like, because I don't know what my family's Christmas plans are yet. I have no idea. And so, I don't even know, like, I know my grandparents are coming in the next week, but I have no idea what the actual game plan is. And so I don't know yet how that's going to impact streaming schedule. Like, how many weeks I'm gonna end up missing, or... Sorry, I'm thinking. Leave no trace. I think we can use... I think you're allowed to use shelf fungus. I don't remember. I hope so, because I didn't mean to activate it. So I have no idea how much the stream schedule is going to be off or weird, or how many I'm going to miss. Luckily, because I went absolutely ham in October. Absolutely nutso. I actually have enough clips that I think even if I didn't get a single clip or do a single stream, I think I would be able to make it to, maybe not New Year, but maybe Christmas. Because I still think I have like 20? Something like 20 clips that have been made but haven't been scheduled for upload yet. It's a lot. Oh, I was trying to cook it. I was trying to cook it. Oh well, that was a mistake. Jeez, this is roots. Obviously, I know, like, what more or less is here, but knowing with my head what's here versus actually being here is... they're completely different things. Ooh, I know that's an achievement. Oh, no, 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 no! No, no, no! That was the worst possible time! What? No! Why? What the heck? I took one step into roots and it instantly died. You're kidding me. Oh. I'm gonna go crazy. Okay. Okay, so there's wind. I actually didn't know about the wind. Of course it came at the worst possible time. Anyway. Here we go again. This is... nothing happened. Put the mustache. Let's see, which one was it? Was it one? Oh, I don't have my hat set up yet, except for this one. This is the only one I have. Oh, I haven't set it up yet, because I was too busy... Before in October, I was so busy setting up Halloween stuff. So that's on my to-do list, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'll take the Python with me. We won't be able to do no trace run. We'll do the rope run. We'll do rope. Yeah, it's a good thing you wanted the French one. I actually do have one that's just a mustache, I think, but... Anyway, what was I saying? Shorts. Yeah, shorts. No, you're right. I love my shorts. I love my shorts. I will admit... Because I do daily shorts, I'll admit to sometimes taking more of a quantity over quality approach, but I'd never upload something if I didn't think it was good. It may not be great, but it's at least something to be proud of. But we'll see. My thought process right now, because you're right, like, clips are great for discoverability, and that's kind of what I need at this point, especially on YouTube. The issue, as it were, is one of my plans, I guess sort of a New Year's resolution, is I want to do more shorter form content. So eventually probably more edited down, longer videos. But also more, like, video essays. Because I love doing the like, analysis videos. I really do. It's just a matter of time. We need Wally AI swap. What would that even mean? What does that even mean? No, I don't... Certified, not AI, unless it's funny. Except for captions. I use AI for captions because I genuinely don't know how to do it myself, and I think it would take too long. But the issue is, of course, I'm only one man. And so it feels like right now I kind of have to choose. Oh, ask the AI, like making a Wall-E AI chatbot? No, it couldn't exist. I restrain myself too much when I'm on camera. It wouldn't be me, it would just be the persona come alive. Apart from myself. Ooh, medicinal herbs. I have to be careful with jumping. I don't want to accidentally jump too much and then kill myself from fall damage. No, and I don't think... I will say, like, I don't know, you probably didn't see it. It didn't get as much traction as I wanted, and I know some of that's just because, unfortunately, even though I love Phasmophobia shorts do not do well, usually. And I was also, over the break, one of the things I was doing is I experimented with different upload times to see if that would help or hurt performance, and I think the answer is it hurt performance. And it could just be that it hurt performance because I have a usual upload time, and so YouTube didn't like that I was uploading outside of my usual upload time. But those videos definitely did not do as well as I wanted them to, which is unfortunate. Some of them were really funny. Some of them were really funny. But what I was saying is I haven't done a lot of, like, developed, scripted, directed shorts, specifically shorts. Like that, like sort of gimmicky things, except for the one I uploaded on Halloween, which I was very happy with. Very happy with it. Because whenever I make the shorts, it's especially now that I've gotten better at editing. Now that I've gotten better and more comfortable with editing, and I've started using some new software, it's not just like clipping, oh, here's some funny clipped moments. It's like, okay, this is a funny clip. How do I make it even funnier? How do I make it even funnier? How do I enhance this? Some shorts need the enhancing, some of them don't, but it's a different mindset. And that might be one of the reasons why I'm gravitating more towards doing more short-form content, because I'm getting more comfortable with that idea. If you do shorts for like 90 days, you'll start chipping into the algorithms. In fairness, there have been periods, like over the summer, where I wasn't able to do daily shorts. I've been doing daily shorts for a long time. I don't know if I'm quite at 90 days. I don't know. I'd have to look. I would have to look. But I've done daily shorts more or less for the last year. And it's true that my shorts are performing a lot better than they used to. And it's something I have to remind myself of. Because, you know, when I was first uploading, if a short got like 100, 200 views, like that was a good short. And nowadays, I'm looking at like 500 views and I'm like, you're a failure. You stink. It's awful. And I'm trying to be more optimistic in my mindset, but some of my shorts I can pretty reliably get to 1,000, sometimes more than that. And so then I see one that's like 300, I'm like, ugh. Ugh. But to your point, Ace, I don't think the algorithm liked me experimenting with different upload times. And I think that may have done some damage. I'm not sure. The YouTube algorithm is a black box, and it changes every few months, so it's difficult to really get it. That's kind of the issue. Is we'll see, because it's definitely like over October. October was really interesting because I had to grind so much. I had to grind so much to make sure that A, I had daily shorts for the entire hiatus, and also B, that I had enough like long-term regular content so that YouTube didn't completely murder me for not uploading. And I did. I was able to still maintain 2 big uploads a week every Wednesday and Friday. And so some days in October, I was doing like 10, 12-hour days, like several days in a row, just streaming, clipping, editing. And so it taught me a lot about what my limits are, especially now that my chronic fatigue has been dealt with to a point, and I have more energy and more strength. Sort of teasing the limits of what I can do, while also, you know, not pushing myself too hard. Yeah, well, YouTube likes consistency, maybe YouTube algorithms are not expecting a change. That is very true. That is true, and it's something I unfortunately hadn't considered when I started experimenting with different upload times. But in retrospect, it makes sense. It's hard to tell sometimes, because I also just know that the Phasmophobia shorts don't do as well anyway. Particularly because, you know, this is an advice, and like, Ace, you've given me this advice, I've heard this advice before, and I know it's true. YouTube likes consistency. So, doing variety streaming when you're small is not necessarily a good idea. But I do it anyway, because I couldn't imagine being anything except a variety streamer. But it is true that like, for example, I've done so much Persona content that whenever I upload a Persona video or a Metaphor video, it does pretty well, because YouTube kind of expects it. Same with RimWorld videos. RimWorld videos do pretty well, because I've been streaming and uploading RimWorld videos since the channel's inception. And so it doesn't like it when I stream outside of those categories anyway, and that's besides the fact that even though it was Halloween, you know, it's a little bit more of a niche game, etc. And so, but October, what I was getting at, I'm playing and thinking, so it's going to be a little bit more of a, what would you say, a bit more of a free thought. It's going to be a little more unstructured. And so it does have me curious to sort of push my limits in other ways. And maybe try, because my fear is that I'm just not going to have enough time to do short-form content and long-form content. Especially with video essays. I'm a writer by trade. I can write an essay in the afternoon if I really want to. So scripting a video essay is not intimidating to me at all. It's like, that's easy. It's the editing part that I find incredibly intimidating. Speaking of intimidating, I don't want to jump and then get killed by a stray breeze again. I just know that there's an achievement for jumping on the mushroom. Okay, so it's one of those things where your height determines how high you go. This is going to be a trend, isn't it? This is gonna keep happening. This is gonna be a trend, because I haven't played the route, so I don't know what the rules are. I'm playing by myself, so there's no one to pick me up when my curiosity gets the better of me. Being more comfortable with editing and editing not taking as long as it used to, because I'm getting better at it. It makes me more confident, especially because video essays in particular are very low commitment. You know, you can upload one every few months. One every few months, and it's not that big of a deal. What's more intimidating is actually trying to make my regular streams into shorter form content. Because then it's like, okay, well, if I stream for 3 hours, that's a minimum of 3 hours of editing, because it means that I have to go back through and re-watch everything and then trim it down, even very simple editing. And in fairness, maybe that's not true, because when I clip, for example, I always watch it on like 1.5 to 2 times speed. But the point remains. You do a niche when you're a smaller streamer. For example, you like JRPGs, so you can play games in that genre. Yeah, and I have, and I try to stick to it. Of course, Persona is so very specific. There are very few games that are like Persona. I wish there were more. At some point, I know I want to stream. I actually had my my like stream wish list up, but I closed it because I was worried about lag and system memory. But at some point, I'd love to jump on an emulator and do Persona 1 and 2. That's on my wish list. I'd love to do that, especially because, you know, who does Persona 1 and 2 content? Absolutely nobody. But I definitely do plan on doing more Persona content, specifically like the video essays I have planned. There are a few that I have, but ow, it was hidden in the grass. But of them, it's like 3 of them are Persona related. And a lot of it's related to things that I've talked about on stream that I think even you have said, like, oh, that could be a video essay, like the Christology of Persona 3. How Persona 5 sort of betrays the themes of Persona 3. And then a analysis on Metaphor, once we're done with that. Also, I was looking at something today about creating moments in your streams, like speedrun of FF7. I'm not sure I understand what you mean. I played, what was it, Final Fantasy IX? Like the original one? That was a lot of fun. I'd like to replay that at some point, but maybe not on stream. Because I didn't realize till the end of the game just how... I thought when I reached the end of the game that I was gonna have like 80-90% completion. And then it was like 60%. It's like, how much of the game did I miss? Jeez. It's nuts. But we'll see. There'll probably be a lot of experimentation in the next year. As I experiment with different avenues for growth, what different kinds of content I want to make. Because I have more time, we'll see how this changes. Because that's another thing, is that there's going to be a lot of changes in the next year, and I don't know how that's going to impact things. Basically, you're creating moments by not just doing a playthrough, adding challenges for yourself. Yeah, obviously that's more interesting. And it's something I've been doing with RimWorld, is, of course, I did the hardcore series for a while. And of course I did the DLC run, and right now we're doing more of like a pseudo roleplay kind of run with RimWorld Crusade. So basically imposing like you said, like challenges and self-imposed rules and restrictions. For JRPGs in particular, unless it would be, because I like to do like the analysis angle, unless it was a game that I had played and replayed, and was very familiar with, I wouldn't do anything like that. But for RimWorld, yeah, I do that kind of stuff all the time. And so that's definitely something I try to keep a pulse on, is like, how can I make this more interesting? How can I make it more challenging but still fun? But specifically, like with Metaphor and Persona, the sort of hook for those is that I'm analyzing the game as I go. And I'm trying to get a read on the game's themes and its morals and its messaging. But I definitely see what you mean, and that was something and even like I did a Fallout 4 series. That series was reasonably successful given the size of the channel at the time. Or at least the shorts were. And the reason for that was because I went in specifically like, this is a Brotherhood of Steel run, and we are role-playing as someone who is loyal and who fully embodies the stated values of the Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout 4. And that was a lot of fun. I loved that. But also the reason I did that was because Fallout 4 was the first RPG I ever played, and I basically 100%ed it. And so I could go back through and just be like, yeah, we're role-playing, and if we miss out on quests, that's fine. If we kill key NPCs, that's fine. I'm not missing out on anything because I already experienced the full game. Or at least as much of the full game as you could experience reasonably in a single run. And then I can like contrast that with, for example, my recent Tainted Grail playthrough, which, partially because I've never played the game and I don't know what it's about, doesn't really have as clear of a premise or an objective. Which is one of the reasons why I'm sort of wondering to myself whether I want to continue doing it. Fallout being an RPG fits the niche. Yeah, it does. It does, and Fallout 4 specifically. Fallout 4 is kind of special to me. I think it's underrated, first of all. I think it gets a lot of undeserved hate. But it was I guess like the first real RPG I ever played. Because I played it when I got my Xbox. And it was the first game I played, other than Minecraft, I guess, on my Xbox when I got it. I sent you homework in DM. Appreciate it. I'll look that over later. So yeah, I'm down for things like that. It's just, I think it's especially difficult with games that you don't know, or games that you don't have experience in. It's like, how can I make this interesting or challenging when I don't know anything about it? And so it's kind of a double-edged sword in that way. And I think eventually, as I get more experienced, I'll find a better way to, what would you say, to square that circle. But especially, like, streaming variety, it can be hard for me to figure out. Oh, jeez. Okay, don't get. Oh no. Okay. I don't know how long the wind lasts as well. Let's try not to die here. And I don't know where I'm going. And so, it just, I guess it kind of depends on what game I'm playing that week. It's like one of the games on my stream list that I want to play is Disco Elysium. But I don't know anything about Disco Elysium, so I can't, like, make that a challenge or make that interesting. It's just kind of funny like that. It's a lot easier when, for example, I, like, play Lego Star Wars with Wyatt. Dang it. I didn't even think I touched that. So that's one achievement we didn't get. Was travel across the land without getting spores. Oh well. More spores. You can do a blind playthrough first. That's true. What's happening? What's happening? Oh, it's like magic. Oh shoot. I'm floating. This is what I mean when I say I genuinely have no idea what I'm getting into. That's true, and you're right. But kind of another caveat, and I guess this is just me, right? It's just I have a lot of personal quirks that I know on some level interfere with some of my chances of success, but also it's like I'm not gonna have fun. Because one of the things with me is there are very few games I've ever replayed. Very few. And the reason is because, A, I'm kind of a completionist, so I usually do like 80-90% of the game when I first play it. And I also, at the risk of sounding like I'm humble bragging, I have a really good memory. And so it usually takes a very long time for me to forget enough of the game for going back to be rewarding. Triggered? Why are you triggered? Why are you triggered? I don't think I can go up this way. Why are we reeing? I don't know. What did I say? Why are you angry? Why are you mad at me? What did I do wrong? I don't know what that one did. You remember too much. Oh, yeah. Yeah, like, I played... It was last year I played Fallout 4. I had not played that. I had not played that game in a decade. Almost a decade. The only other RPG I've replayed is, Oh, hello. That's fancy. I love all this, like, weird stuff they've added. I mean, when I gotta wipe your memory Men in Black style, yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of a weird middle ground, isn't it? It's like you have to forget enough of it for me to be actually interested in playing it again. Does Antidote help here? It does. But also remember enough of it to think of a challenge or a way to play that's interesting. Because even to the extent that the Fallout 4 playthrough wasn't successful, I loved it. I had a blast. I had more of a blast than I did when I played Fallout 3, and I think partly because I didn't have a goal when I was doing Fallout 3. I didn't have a premise. I didn't have a role-play hook. It's just kind of weird in that way. And I suppose that's the advantage to being the sort of streamer who has like one game that he plays all the time. Is it's easier to come up with those sort of things. Too smart, exactly. I'm too perfect. I'm too perfect. So I'm never quite sure what to do. This actually is something that's on my mind, specifically about like Persona 4. I didn't play Persona 4 that long ago, but now that it's getting a remake, I'm kind of racking. There's a part of me that's kind of racking my head trying to think of like, okay, It's going to be topical. People are going to be talking about it. What can I do to make this both fun for myself and interesting for the audience? What can I do? And I'm not entirely sure. I have a few ideas, but I'm not entirely sure. Just something to chew on. Because I know, like, for example, we can wipe your memories. Yeah. I have a few ideas. At the top of my list... Oh, there's the beetle. I don't remember if there's an achievement for the beetle. I don't think there is. Anyway, don't hit me. Don't hurt me. Beetle, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. Don't hurt me. I think top of my list is just playing it through with my soon-to-be wife and just having her reaction as if it was entirely new. That's just one idea. I can't really think of anything else. Because it's not like, oh, you know, Persona 4 melee build. Okay, that's not really interesting. 100% run, except I can't guarantee that I'll 100% it. Unless I used a guide, I guess. I could do that. I could try using a guide to 100% it, but I'd rather do it myself. But then again, the game is also like 80 hours, so if you make a single mistake... I had that experience with Persona 3 Reload. I put like 60 hours into it. I didn't end up beating it because I'm pretty sure that I can't 100% it. Yeah, that's a good idea. You think so? What the checkpoint flag does. Oh yeah, I'm not doing Leave No Trace, so I can use the checkpoint flag if I want to. Do I have any climbing items? No. This is a pickle. There's something... There might be a way up that way. Whoop! There it is. No, that's not a way up. I can't get up there. Unless there's an item in here, but I can't get there. Honestly, I'm not even entirely sure how I'm supposed to get an item that's on top of a mushroom, because the mushroom wants to kick me off. Yeah, I know, like, for example, some of my, like, stream on release games is I want to play, I know I want to play Fate Extella Encore, because I'm a huge Fate nerd. Ow! No, no, no. I'm a huge Fate nerd, and I'm really excited for that game to come out, because it was only available on, like, the PSP or something, and it hasn't been... I don't think it's been adapted for any newer consoles or PC or anything. Really excited to play that, especially because every other entry in the franchise is obsessed with referencing it. I want to end up doing BFG FTM up streams. Yeah, I think they could be fun. I did one already. I did it last Christmas. She and I did like a RimWorld Christmas charity punishment stream together, and that was fun. I might do something like that again, but I want to try and get the setup more pristine, more efficient. I'm not sure how to do that. So that's one entry. Obviously, Persona 6, when it comes out, that's a given. Whenever that comes out, because we have no details about it. Well, I've told you I'm really anxious about the game because it feels like Atlas has been on a downward spiral lately. With Persona 5 and with Metaphor. And Persona 5 Royal. And so, honestly, well, I'd love to team up with someone on making, like, a Persona-like game. It's just, you know... I'm only good for programming. I'm sorry, no, that's backwards. That's completely backwards. Disregard that. I never said that. I'm only good for writing. Writing and, like, not even actual art, just, like, concept art. And so it's not something if I could do it on my own, I would just do it on my own. That's not possible. I know there are a few other various side projects that I'd love to get working on. And so it's just a matter of finding time, balancing responsibilities. I saw a video thumbnail about Sega going bankrupt again. That is definitely interesting. Honestly, could explain some of the weird behavior with Persona. How they just really like, Persona 5, Joker here, Joker there, Joker everywhere. You get a Joker, you get a Joker, you get a Joker. Just obsessed with it, because it's kind of their cash cow right now. You know, just banking on all of the Persona fans who don't actually play the games. Which is most of them. Oh, I don't follow gaming news enough to know anything about that. What was I about to say? Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm lucky in a lot of ways. Did I just fart? What was that? What the heck was that? Just blew a big one. Anyway, blowing up the Taco Bell bathroom aside, it's interesting. This year's been, well, it's been a year, that's for sure. One of the blessings and the curses is that I've been unemployed, which means that I've had more time in theory to devote to streaming and building the brand, building an audience base, making content. Fortunately, because of the condition I developed last year, my chronic fatigue that I developed took a lot of that time away from me. So I'm very glad to have that energy back, that strength back. I don't know. But next year's gonna be crazy. Because I'll be moving hopefully fairly soon. January, February, if I'm lucky. And then the actual wedding is in April. I don't know how that's all gonna change. What like to write? So how about streams based off that? That's possible. I know some people have done that. I worry there's not really an audience for that. It's not really as engaging as, say, a drawing stream, right? Which technically I could have done, except that I draw on a laptop. So OBS isn't there. I wouldn't have. Well, I could have. If there's a will, there's a way. I could have found a way, but I wasn't interested in finding a way. Is there even a way back over? Have I just screwed myself? RT did a stream of watching paint dry. That's true. But he has the charisma of an Adonis. Yeah, I think I just crossed over here just to cross back. Maybe you can do something like D&D with chat. Well, actually, it's funny you mention that. It's funny you mention that. So it is true. I would love to do like a streamed D&D campaign. The only caveat I have with that is that that market is so oversaturated that I question my ability to succeed in it. I question my ability to succeed in it. But I do know, of course, I've seen you liking and reposting. I actually felt bad, because there was one post that went off accidentally, and then you reposted it, but it's like I deleted it, and I didn't even see that you had reposted till after I deleted it. I felt really bad about it. I do actively plan on, after the holidays are over, doing a one-shot to advertise that book. That is like actively planned. It's just there are things that need to be done that didn't get done because I was on trains in Europe and very tired and having allergic reactions every few days. But I actively plan to do a one shot with that to advertise it, and then if that video does well, if that one shot does well, then I would definitely consider doing a like consistent streaming. Because I love DMing. I've had like using the rules that are in the book that I've published. I've been running a home game for about 3 years. Not 3 years consistently, like week to week to week to week, but for 3 years. And I think because I'm at like 100 sessions, because I record them, so that I have a record of them. I have 100 sessions, so it's like 2 years meeting weekly is the equivalent, even though it's been much longer. And so I love it. I love it, and it's really I love that form of storytelling, and I want to. This might be TMI. But one of my sort of like writer's envy, one of the things I get really like jealous of other people about, is that I do a really. There's a way to have, there's a way to DM have AI play D&D. Yeah, I've seen that. It's good for a gimmick. It's good for a gimmick, like a single gimmick video. I would not do that for a campaign. I wouldn't do that for a campaign. I'm not really interested in... I'm not interested in that. Like, I've seen other people doing it, I'm not interested in doing it myself. I don't feel like I even know enough about AI or have enough resources to really pull that off in a way that's interesting and compelling. And the other thing is, obviously campaigns are a bit of a different story because they meet weekly and that can be difficult. But certainly for one-shots, I feel like I have enough friends now to make that happen. It's funny because over the summer, I think it was, I wanted to do a one-shot and I tried to arrange it. I wasn't able to. It completely fell through the cracks. But part of the reason for that was because it was going to be a high-level one-shot, and so there were a lot of people that wanted to do it that I had to turn away. Because it's like, if you haven't played D&D before, this isn't for you. This is a high-level one-shot. And so it never ended up happening. But for a lower-level one-shot that is more friendly, and on top of that, I have more friends now, including people who I know play D&D, and I feel like I could pull off at least a one-shot. But what I was saying is one of my writer's envy is that I don't know how to write episodic stories. Stories where you have like a cast of characters that go different places and do different things. I've always had more of like a streamlined start to finish way of seeing stories. Even stories that have, at most I would do like arc based, right? Where it's one story arc that leads into another story arc that leads into another story arc, but it's still one overarching story with central themes, not like a bunch of short stories that use the same characters. And one of the things I've kind of reflected on is like, well, you keep saying that you don't know how to write episodic stories, but then you're literally writing a One Piece themed D&D campaign where they're just going to island to island to island with plots that are completely disconnected from one another. And it's different, of course. It's very different because in D&D you don't have control over the characters, the main characters, which is kind of the main appeal. It's kind of the main appeal for me. It's like you're writing a story that you don't know the ending of. You have the One Piece. It's true. I own it. Ooh, the Book of Bones. I don't know if there's an achievement for using it. I'm going to hold on to it for now. The Book of Bones! Why is there a weenie here? Why is there a weenie? Is it just the same as a mushroom? Seems like it. Anyway, what was I saying? I think that's one of the things that's interesting about it, is you're assisting in writing a story, but you're not actually in control of it. Which as someone who actually... It's almost like I'm writing and watching a story at the same time. Which is like my two favorite things to do. It's like my two favorite things to do is to read and to write. And they're happening at the same time. It's kind of magical in that way. And so I have ideas. I have ideas out the wazoo. But I definitely plan on doing at least a one-shot for that. And especially like having worked on the for my home game, I admit I use AI for the tokens. Because it's completely harmless. My kind of philosophy on that is that it's fine using AI as long as you're not using it for profit. And so if I actually made a game, I would want to devote some time to at least drawing tokens for the main characters. Which is fine. That's just for the main main characters, not just the player characters, but also major characters in the campaign. Because I also know that even if I did use AI, there'd be a lot of people that get real pissy about it. And so I just don't want to poke that beehive. Great, so we'll see one shot in 2026. Yes, yes. I will make it happen. I will make it happen. Probably February. Because if I really wanted to, I could get it done in like 2 weeks. But the issue is, the first thing I have to do is, the book is done. The book is done. I've made all of the art. I was done writing it months ago. Now I've done all the art. So what I have to do is I just have to submit it for approval so it can be published, and then actually publish it, make it available for selling. And then presumably in the same week that it's published would be when I did the one-shot. But it would be February, probably. Because I have to wait for first of all, I had to wait for my trip to be over, so that I'm not overseas anymore, but I'm waiting for the holidays to be over. Because people are not available during the holidays. They're not. And to pull off a one-shot, it's a one-shot, but you actually have to meet twice, right? You have to meet once to create the characters, and then again to actually play it. So February is my timetable. I need to start, like, getting a move on that. Because even for my home game, I need to start doing a lot of prep. And I just need to set aside, like, one day, and I can prep, like, the next 3 locations in an afternoon. But I will use my unpaid Elgato salesman skin to sell your book. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Because that's another thing, actually. Because I have another book, another fiction book, that's in the works. And it kills me, because if not for my fatigue, it'd be done by now. That kind of upsets me. And I need to work on it more than I have. I didn't work on it as much in October, because I was grinding, doing 4 to 5 streams every week, and then clipping and editing. Like 10, 12-hour days. Anyway, we'll continue talking about this. The reason I haven't gone into the Mesa yet is because I really need to use the bathroom. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Ah, yes, the professional BRB screen. Yes, I wonder who made that for me. I wonder who made that for me. It's him. Did it. You did this. But yeah, there will definitely be at least a one shot. And I love DMing. I would love the idea of having a more like professional podcast type deal for that. I question my ability to succeed, which well should be obvious. Of course, anyone would, but especially just because the market is so oversaturated. We'll see. It feels like people are souring on like Critical Role, and some of the bigger ones are kind of losing their luster. And so yeah, that could be fun. And maybe some art streams could be in the future for stuff like that. But especially, I will admit this. I find it to be a bit embarrassing to admit, but it's like a lot of people. There are a lot of people who get mileage out of saying like, oh yeah, I don't stream. I stream for fun, and it's just a hobby for me. I treat this like a job. Partially because I'm unemployed. I don't have a job, and so there's no reason why I shouldn't. And it's not that I don't enjoy it, obviously. But especially like getting married, and obviously I'm at the point where I can make money off of streaming now, which is great. I love that. But also, it's not exactly a living wage either. Not right now. Not even close. And so that's always on my mind. It's like, yes, I want to put my full effort into this. I want to do everything in my power to make sure I succeed. But also, there are going to be people who are depending on me. Like I'm getting married. I hope to have kids, hopefully in the near future. But it's also, it's funny. Because I wrote last year. I wrote like a film script, and it's kind of indefinitely paused at the moment. We finished the first draft, but there was a point where it's like I almost feel like I almost feel like I'm more likely to succeed in writing the script than I am in the usual job market. At the risk of like trauma dumping. First of all, of course, the job market's bad. Everyone knows that. There's no point in talking about it. Everyone knows the job market is in a real pickle. There's more unemployed people than there are jobs available. And I'm straight out of college with no work experience. I have plenty of work experience, just not a lot. I'm only so old. I can't have 10 years of work experience when I haven't even been an adult for 10 years. They grew up so fast. Yeah. So that's a problem. And the other problem is that now that I developed fibromyalgia, and so that puts most physical jobs out of just completely out of consideration. Like if a job says you must be able to stand for long periods of time, I can't work that. I can't stand for long periods of time. A job requires a lot of walking or a lot of hiking, I can't do that job. Wally was an easy kid to raise. Yes, yes, I was. I was a little angel. I need to find a safe place. Is it safe? Kind of. Oh, what was I saying? Oh, that didn't work. I was hoping... Oh, no, it did. It did. My burn's going down. Now it's going up. Need a fairy lantern. But so, physical jobs... Oh, that's going to clip in the wall if I put it down. Jobs that are overly physical are completely out of consideration now. Which sucks, because... I think I've said before, I've been blessed in that every job I've had, I've enjoyed. But... I guess technically I worked a landscaping job while having fibromyalgia, and that worked out pretty well. It's really standing that's the issue. For everything else, it kind of depends. Give me my winter berry. Give me my winter berry. For everything else, it kind of depends. But now the real issue is the perfume allergy. It's like, okay, if I get too close to some cleaning supplies or someone's cologne or laundry detergent, my face explodes and I get taken out for a week. I lose a week of my life. And so that rules out basically any job that has me working with other people. And I even look up like, okay, what do people who have my condition, what do they do? And it's all you either work outdoors or you work remote. It's fine. Except remote work is extremely competitive and no one is going to hire. No one would hire me for a remote job. Stay-at-home jobs, yeah, exactly. That's it. And so this is kind of my remote job. Because no one would hire a 20-year-old with with minimal work experience to do remote work, which is already so incredibly competitive. Everyone wants to work remotely. And so so it's like basically my option is to freelance. And my wife and I are considering some options, like we're considering potentially, because we're looking at getting a home, potentially getting a multifamily home, and renting out the other half of the home for some extra income, or if that doesn't work, maybe getting a more rural house and potentially doing some getting some beehives or chicken coop, make money that way. But sometimes I have to whip myself into shape. Whether it's streaming or whether it's writing, these are the talents that I have. And I would happily treat these these talents as just a hobby, something I do in my free time for fun. But I don't really have that option. These are the talents I have. It seems very much as if a normal life, a normal job or careers is out of the running. So it's like whether it's writing, whether it's streaming, some combination of the two. It's like that. I have to make something out of that. Ever thought about doing a better version of IGN, like to write and review things? I guess I'm kind of doing similar to that with my analyses. I know there are people out there who do that kind of stuff. I'm not sure well, at a certain measure, it doesn't matter what you want. It matters what you have to do. But I don't know that anyone would give a rat's about what I have to say about those things. At least with analyses, not a lot of people do that kind of thing. And whether it's because not a lot of people are doing it, or because of, or not a lot of people have the talents to do it, or just not a lot of people bring the same perspective that I have to it. I think that there's a unique niche there. I think people would appreciate seeing what's not woke or whatever. Yeah, and I actually found at one point a place that basically did that. But analysis is more my realm. That's more what I'm good at. Like when I was in college, my minor was in philosophy. That was kind of a. It was really funny too. Like I took a Shakespeare class. I wear this as a mark of pride. I'm not sure I'll ever forget this. My Shakespeare professor was considered to be basically the toughest professor on the campus. He was the kind of professor that if you said something stupid, he would tell you to sit down. He would call you an idiot to your face and tell you to sit down. And he told me, like, Wes, this is very good, and you should consider staying here. And I don't know what your plans are after graduation, because I was a senior. But I would encourage you to stay here, and why isn't this working? My shift key's not working. Why is my shift key not working? Is there an invisible wall here? What? I can't move. I can't move. Okay, there's an invisible wall. What the heck? Like, Wes, I really encourage you to stay here and get your master's. And I was like, Professor, I'm not an English major. I'm not an English major. He was shocked. It's like, wait, you're not an English major? Like, no, I'm not. I'm not. I almost double minored. But I did not want to spend a single more year at college. No. Sooner I was out of there, the better. You want to do acting? Yes, there are people who want to get me into voice acting. And I've actually made, like, a voice acting reel. Mostly using footage from my D&D games. Like, that'd be fine. I think that would be fun. I think that would be fun. Because the things that I'll admit is, like I said, I treat streaming as a job. I enjoy streaming. I enjoy streaming. But it's also true that if I had to sacrifice it in order to, make ends meet for my family or to uphold higher responsibilities, I would. And I wouldn't be too terribly upset about it. Oh, dang it. There goes the fall damage. I was doing so good. I was doing so good. Dang it. Alright, we're not getting that one. Sounds like you need to teach English in other countries. Maybe. That's an idea. The only, in fact, my wife actually does that. She teaches, English language, not like English as in literature, English language. And actually, it's funny. One of my other friends, Wyatt, one of the guys I stream with, his ambition is to someday open like a Christian school, and he's told me before that if that ever happened, he would instantly hire me. And so, it's like I don't want to doom. I don't want to doom. God only knows what life has in store. But there's a... I shouldn't have done that. That's not what I meant to do. Oh yeah, everything's coming together. There's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of things that could happen, and to be completely honest, I'm not even entirely sure what it is that I want to happen. I'm kind of confused in that regard. And the answer is probably just going to be a mix. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. An odd job here, a book sale there. Whatever I need to do. Because writing is the thing that I love. That's the thing that, even if I never made a single cent off of it, I would still do it anyway. I love streaming, but streaming is not that. Like, I've told stories before. Like, if I don't write, I get depressed, because it's what I was made for. It's what I'm good at. It's what I enjoy. So if I could just make a living doing nothing but writing books, that's all I would do. Maybe streaming on the side if I had some extra time. But that's probably never gonna happen. It is very difficult to make a living writing books. For most people, it's just an additional stream of income. There are a lot of ways my life could go, both in the near and far future, and it's actually something I've kind of observed about my life before. My life has had a lot of weird twists and turns, and I've worked a lot of odd jobs already, and I kind of expect that's probably kind of like how I stream variety, even though I know that's not necessarily the best thing to do, because streaming variety is the only thing I'm interested in doing. I think probably a lot of my life will be marked by that same variety. It's amazing that one set of skill can lead to so many outcomes. Look at all the suggestions we made. Like you said, well, God knows the path and we just have to follow it. You said it. You said it, and I think just about every prayer I've ever said in my life was to know that path and to be able to walk it. Because that is all I'm concerned about. That is the only thing I'm concerned about. Is making sure that whatever happens, it's according to God's will and plan. He knows much better than I do. It's kind of been tough for me to accept that, yes, it's true, he has a plan, he has a will, but he also, part of his will is that we have our own choices to make. And so as much as I wish that he could just tell me what to do at every single turn and juncture, that's not what's going to happen. There are going to be times where I have to make choices just based on what I want or what's important to me. God did not design us to be slaves. What's a gold prickleberry? He designed us to be free agents, and what we do with that freedom is up to us. So I can only hope that even if streaming doesn't work out, or this thing doesn't work out, or that thing doesn't work out, that the skills that I take from it be applied later on to do some good for my family or for whoever else needs it. As I've said before, I count it a blessing that I've enjoyed every job I've had. I worked as a youth minister, and I loved that. I worked as a landscaper, I enjoyed that. I worked as a dishwasher, and I liked it. Preferred some to others, obviously. But I've never been picky about that sort of thing. I've never been picky about the path that my life takes. I've never been too terribly troubled by changes in plans, and that's a gift. It's a blessing. Especially, and we all have our unexpected twists and turns, some more than others. But it's also a struggle sometimes. I've always been slightly envious of people who've just been able to say, this is what I want, and this is what I want, and that's what I'm gonna do to get it. Like, for me, when I was a kid, people would say, like, oh, what do you want to do when you grow up? Like, well, I'm just whatever I need to do. Whatever I need to do. I wanted to be a father, a husband, dad, protector, provider, whatever I had to do. What I would say, it's like what I want is whatever I have to do to make sure that the people I love are taken care of. Which I thought would be a boon, because it means that I'd be incredibly flexible. Sometimes it feels like not a burden per se, but not a burden per se, but an issue. It means there's a lack of vision at times, or a lack of motivation at others. And constantly fretting over whether I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket, or whether I'm not going too far down a path I'm not supposed to go down. Wally is a super soldier of job work. Yeah, basically. Because one of the things I realized in retrospect is that a lot of my life has just been filling needs. It's like, well, what do we need, right? Like, my last job, I was a youth minister, and I was a janitor. Why? Well, because my church needed a youth minister, and they needed a janitor, and so I filled that need. And that's a blessing in a lot of ways, for me and for others, but then it's like, okay, what's the need I'm filling now? What's the gap I'm filling? What's the need I'm supposed to be fulfilling? What do I need? Those questions don't have clear answers. So especially not knowing what the future holds, or it's difficult to know what you should be doing. I guess I'm putting all this time and effort into streaming and into making videos. Maybe I should be putting my time into something else. Maybe there's something else I should be doing, but I don't know what that would be. And the reality is that at a certain point, you just have to kind of throw yourself in and trust. Trust that if there was something you needed to be doing, or somewhere that you needed to be, God would be making sure that you were there. I have to remind myself of that a lot. For example, and maybe after this I can stop, we can move on to happier subjects, but like I said, it was a year ago that I was working as a youth minister and as a catechist, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved my students. I loved my church. And I was a part of a community, which is not something I've really had enough of in my life. Not something I really had enough of in my life. I really loved it. Very, very happy and precious times for me. And I felt a tug on my heart. That's a, you know, your job here is done. You need to start moving on. And there were a lot of reasons to move on. Like, I didn't, even with the 2 jobs I was working, it wasn't a living wage. I was kind of living off the fumes of my previous job. And so I said, okay. And I moved on. And I said, like, alright, I'm staying through to the end of the year, and after that, I've got to go. I feel it on my heart that I need to go and search out better things. You know, who knows, maybe find a job, a wife, a job that could provide for a family to start with her. And then I did that. Stopped. I quit. I said my goodbyes. Stayed through the end of the year, and I moved in with my grandparents. I started job hunting, and I found no success whatsoever. And then last year, at about this time, is when I developed my condition. The condition that makes it so that my face explodes if I get too close to someone wearing perfume. A condition that gave me chronic, just debilitating chronic fatigue this last year. And there was a moment not too long ago where I was really upset. I was really upset. Because it's like, come on, like, why did you took me away from, I was trying to cook that. Did they disable cooking for some items? It's the second time that's happened. I know I've was hitting the cook button. But I was really upset. It's like, you took me away from my friends, from this community, from a job that I love. I've been unemployed for a year, struggling fruitlessly. I've been sick, and then what for? And then kind of had the realization. It's like, oh. You know, I was there at that church because I was fulfilling a need. My condition completely took me out for about a year. I was fatigued. I couldn't even do the things that I enjoyed. There was very little joy. And so if I had developed that condition while I was still working at the church, they would have lost their youth minister. They would have lost their janitor. They would have lost, not to pat myself on the shoulders too much, they would have lost a key cog in their machine. And right when they needed him. But the way things happened, they had time to prepare. About this time 2 years ago, I told them that God had put it on my heart that it was about time for me to go. And they had 6 months, over 6 months, to find a replacement. To prepare for a transition, to get things settled and in order and ready to go, just so that I could go and so that they could be fine. And so even though it was really rough for me, in the end, it was the best thing certainly for them. Now, on the one hand, that's definitely a comforting thought. Of, oh, yeah, well, it's good that I wasn't there, because if I was there, I would have caused a lot of trouble for a lot of people. But there's also a flip side to that of, Oi. Is that the only reason I am where I am? Because if I wasn't where I am, I'd be causing trouble. Not a happy thought. And I know in my head that the correct answer is both. That there's definitely something that I'm not seeing, or that I haven't seen yet, or that hasn't borne fruit yet. But it remains. So yeah, in short, my life's been a wild ride, and it's not going to be... it may never stop being a wild ride. It may never be the case that... it could be that for the rest of my life I get dragged hither and thither based on where I'm needed and where I'm not. And I'm okay with that. But it means that inevitably there's going to be periods like this. Periods of loss, feeling lost or listless. Not knowing what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. Not knowing whether there's a battle I should be preparing for. Or what that battle would entail. I don't mean to get so heavy. It's definitely... That's what causes a lot of the... It's kind of an explanation. It's what causes a lot of the hesitation, where it's like, well, do I want to do that? Do I not want to do that? Am I putting all my eggs in one basket? I sometimes find myself going back and forth between, you know, I need to be doing everything that I can to make sure that my ventures succeed, versus, well, am I wasting my time? Is there something else I should be doing? I suppose that's kind of the reverse side of being a jack of all trades, in a way. Ooh. Okay, the egg's okay. That's kind of the reverse side of being the jack of all trades. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of things that you're good at. There's a lot of things you can do. There's a lot of things you can be doing right now. But which of the many things that you can do should you be doing right now? Leave in the heart of the cards. Yeah. I do. I'm just neurotic. So distracted by demons in the future that it causes me to hesitate in dealing with the present. It's a flaw. It reminds me of, like, there's definitely, like, not a hypocrisy per se, but a contradiction. Like, for years, this is, it kind of passed me by. I made a small announcement on Twitter, but I didn't make a big deal out of it. I've been streaming for 2 years now, as of this month, as of November. In my first year of streaming, and I'm happy with it. So I know people who started streaming, and then within a week, right, within like a week, they have, they're like, not Twitch partners. with the Twitch affiliates, and because they had connections, they really took time to build up an audience before they debuted, and I did not do any. I'm so dead. I should not be alive. They had connections, and they really built up to their debut, and I did not do that. I just started streaming. And I became aware at a certain point that there were things... I mentioned this during my re-debut, that there were things I could be doing with my brand to help my chances of succeed. Then I didn't do them. And the reason I didn't do them is because I wanted to prove that I could succeed, despite the handicaps. And so there's an interesting part of my psychology, I guess, where sometimes I say, you know what, no, I'm gonna do it the hard way, not because it's a good idea, but just to prove that I can, versus I need to be doing everything in my power to ensure success. I think it's just because I lack confidence. I still do, honestly. I think we all do. I know it's not just me. Everyone who does anything for the public feels insecure about it at least some points. Whether it's acting or writing or streaming or what. There are a lot of white and white and orange chests. This is very good. Very good. I genuinely have no idea what the flag does. I don't have a lot of food. It might be worth, because I know the becoming a skeleton immunizes you to hunger. And oh yeah, I have no food. So that's probably the smart thing to do. I believe in you, Wally. Thank you. I remember when I got my job, I worked at a policy research institute for a while. I loved it. It was a lot of fun. I got to write articles and do research on politics and policies. It was great. I loved it. I'm a nerd. I remember during my not my job interview, it was an internship, but my job interview for the internship, I guess. They asked me, like, whether, I forget what they said, it was like, whether I had, like, creative's disease or something like that. Where it's just, like, you can never focus on one thing, because there's always so many things that you want to do, and so many things you would like to do, that they end up kind of bumping into each other, and you just kind of jump from one thing to the next. And that is definitely me. In a lot of ways, for different reasons. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Balloon. Where it's like, oh yeah, you know, there are video games. If I can make video games, I'd be making video games. There's an idea for this book and for that book. I can only write one book at a time. Different things. So, you only have so much time. You only have so much life. There are a lot of projects I want to do, but what's the next project? What should the next project be? There are different ways to answer that question. Sometimes you prioritize based on likelihood of success. Sometimes you prioritize because it's just what you want to do in the moment. Just what you feel like doing. Creativity definitely requires you to be in a certain mood. Or it's better when you're in a certain mood. You know, anything you put your mind to, Wally, heck, I wish I could do that. Really talented, I pray you say the final fulfillment in Jesus' name. Thank you, Ace, I appreciate it. I remember my grandfather used to always say, he still says it, he's not dead, but my dad says it too. You know, that a lot of life is just find something you're good at doing and that you enjoy doing and find a way to get paid for it. I found things that I'm good at doing. I found things that I enjoy doing. It's the third part that I'm it's the third part that I'm wrestling with now. It's the third part that I'm trying to figure out. Okay, I found things that I'm good at. I found things that I enjoy doing. Now, how can I turn them into ways to provide for the people how can I turn this into a way to take care of the people that I love? For example, like I have a creative writing project that I've been working on and off since I was in high school. And it's not a novel, it's nothing like that. It's literally just characters that I made because I wanted to. And I would be gobsmacked if anyone other than my wife and myself ever saw them. I just do it because I enjoy it. Because it's something that I like doing for fun. And I remember for a while, I was really obsessed with, like, finding a stopping point. So that I could focus on other things. And one of the things I realized was that after I did reach that stopping point, was that actually it wasn't interfering with anything. It wasn't interfering anything because I only did it when I didn't have the energy to work on other things. It was purely hobby. It was a pure enjoyment. It wasn't, when I was writing, it was making those characters. It wasn't an alternative to making other things. It was an alternative to playing video games. It was an alternative to watching TV. It was just a way for me to release stress. It wasn't actually hurting anything. I don't know why I told it. I forget why I was telling that story. Oh well. It's all about balance, I suppose. I think it's very easy. No one knows the future, obviously. But it's very easy to get wrapped up in that. And it's kind of funny, right? You get so anxious about not knowing what the future holds. It's like, no one knows what the future holds. You could make a plan. You could try to plan out your entire year, and something would happen to screw everything up. No one really knows. It's just some people have more detailed plans than others. So it's kind of ridiculous to be... I don't think it's ridiculous to be anxious about it. I think it's ridiculous to be obsessive about it. So yeah, a year from now, I don't know whether I'll be... Maybe I'll still be streaming. Maybe I'll have a successful D&D podcast. Maybe I'll have a fulfilling job. Maybe... Maybe I'll be living in Florida. Maybe I'll be living somewhere else. We'll see. I'm as much a player in that game as I am the arbiter of it. Wally needs to write anime. Honestly, a lot of my future projects, not my current one, but a lot of my future projects are anime inspired pretty heavily. Very, very shonen. Like shonen inspired. So it's coming. Just not yet. Probably my next project after this one will be starting to get into that sort of category of young adult fiction. Which is also another reason why I get pissy thinking about how much time I've lost this year. Because it's not just time lost on one project, it's also time lost on the project that I could have been working on if I had finished the one I'm currently working on. Yeah, the next one. And there's other things too, like I know my soon-to-be wife wants to collab with me on making a bit of a web series. Like a bit of a religious education web series. And so at some point, that has to go into production. I have like 50 jobs for Wally, but I gotta swipe his memories for each one. Oh boy, it was just severance now. It's severance. I stream and then you wipe my memory and then I edit the stream and then you wipe my memory and then I go to work at the factory and you wipe my memory and I go into and I do the voice acting and then I wipe my memory and I teach English and so on and so forth. So you kind of get an idea of what I mean when I say, like, yeah, there's a lot of things I could be doing. Like, right now, I'm streaming, but I could be writing. I could be reading the Summa. I could be making some art or drafts for the web series. I could be trying to find an artist to commission for the bachelor party, for my bachelors. I could be working on my D&D home game. I could be submitting my draft to for review so that could be published. There's a lot of things I could be doing at any given moment. I could be making a stream schedule template. I could be trying to find new music. I could be doing so many things. It's kind of the flip side of being a writer. It means that my to-do list is literally years long. It will literally take years and or decades for me to do all of the things that I have the ambition to do. And on the one hand, that's a very beautiful and precious thing. On the other hand, woof. Woof. Where do you begin? Like that is your glimpse into the mind of West of Lourdes. And the reality is you just have to take it one day at a time. Oh, shoot. I just realized I'm playing Kangaroo Scout. There's no flares at the top of the volcano. There are no flares at the top of the volcano. If I don't find a flare, I'm not going to succeed. All of a sudden, this became a lot more problematic. I'm laughing now because I'm remembering, like, at the start of October, which you remember was an extremely grinding month for me. My dad came to me. He was worried. He's like, Wes, you seem really stressed. It's like, yes, I am stressed because I have a lot of things to do and only so much time to do them. Trying to balance the things that I have to do versus the things that I want to do. And all the while maintaining mental health, getting proper rest. So I've pushed myself past that limit before. Certainly have. So I know that limit exists, and I have to be careful of it. Need clones. Yeah, pretty much. I need clones. You clone, you can write the book. You clone, you can make the D&D. But then it's going to become infighting, like, but I want to work on D&D. Okay, you can work on D&D. No, I was working on it first. Okay. You write the book. Oh, wait, which book am I doing again? Alright, you clip the stream. I don't know. I think we should be working on the video essay instead. He clones, but I don't think the world can handle me. I mean, honestly, you've made clones of yourself. You could just take over Elgato's marketing department. You could just be the whole department. They wouldn't need anyone else. It would just be you, and you. Anyway. My mind is fried now. Lol, I am the Elgato. This is a problem. There are no flares at the top. There weren't any flares that I found in the kiln or the why am I forgetting now? I didn't find any is the point. Like, not since the mesa. Do I see any chests? I don't see any chests. Oh, jeez. Let's do something here. These work. Looking for chests, looking for chests, looking for chests. That's just lava. That's just lava. Wait, I'm immune to lava, aren't I? His mind is frying quickly. Someone wipe his memory now. Oh no, what was I doing? Where am I? Why am I bones? What's going on? Huh? What? Bones? Oh, yeah. At least for the near future, getting back into the actual... Hi, Python. That's my Python. Into the actual, like, what I was planning to talk about. Hopefully we should be in a more or less normal schedule. I'm a bit worried. Like, I know RimWorld Tuesday is a bit in the air because that's when my grandparents are coming in. They're probably coming in the evening, so I should be fine with that. I don't know if I want to continue doing Tainted Grail streams. It doesn't seem like they're doing very well, and I don't know that I'm enjoying them enough. I'm enjoying the game. I like the game, but kind of like what we were talking about earlier. It doesn't feel like I really have a purpose in playing it. So what I might do, and one of the things that because Metaphor and I are kind of... No! I am trying to discuss! What are you doing? Oh, well, now I guess I have to... Bonjour, I have to talk in a omelette au fromage. I have to talk in a French accent when I explain it with the schedule or whatever. Whatever. So, what I am thinking is, since I am beefing with Le Metaphor, I might just stream it more often. I might stream it more often. So that I can rush to the finish. Rush to the finish. Rush to the finish. I'm losing it. So I can rush to the finish. And then finish it quickly, so that I can move on to something I might actually enjoy. And also get to work on playing, doing the USAs and the supercuts and whatever else. I really want to just be done with it, honestly. I've lost all hope for it. I wish that it were not so, but alas it is. Oh! What? I just exploded. I didn't even fall that far. I didn't even fall that far. Jeez Louise. Like 10 feet. He needs some milk. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I don't know if I'll continue streaming Tainted Grail. I'm just not sure about it. So what I might do is for the foreseeable future, especially because I have no idea what the actual streaming schedule is going to look like with Thanksgiving, Christmas, Christmas, all of that. I might just for the foreseeable future be streaming Metaphors Thursdays and Sundays, just so I can beat the game and be done with it. It's kind of where my head is. Be done with it, move on to the next thing. Because there are other games I want to play, and I've been playing it for a very long time, and the game is much longer than Persona 3 was. Like, I have 80 hours in the game, and there's still probably like 20 hours left. I'm willing to bet. This is new. I wonder if that changes based on what's... Oh, I bet it does. I bet these tell you what it is. So like whether it's mesa or mountain versus roots or jungle. That's cool. I like that. I can appreciate that. But yeah, I might just do that more so I can just be done with it. And it's also kind of it saves me some mental energy so I can focus more on doing some of the shorter videos I want to do. Like I want to do for January, I want to do a best of 2025 clips compilation. I think that'll be good. I hope that will do well. And so that'll be good. I also want to do some supercuts for Metaphor. Like just a big supercut that cuts out all the side quest stuff and it's just story. Hopefully that would be interesting to someone. And I also want to do the same thing for Persona 3 because I really enjoyed the Persona 3 streams and I think they're key now. And so just going back and cutting down to just the story. And just story and social links I think would be good. What else? Here, I can pull it up actually. Video essays are on my... What would you say? They're on my New Year's resolution. They're not... I don't know when they'd be done. Ideally, I'd like to start working on them soon, but I'm not going to obsess over getting them done quickly. So it could be very possible that I just... like, I could have it drafted, I could have some of these drafted before the year's out, but they wouldn't be done for months. Once we finish, assuming none of the other games I have come out, which, in fairness, the Fate Extra remake is supposed to have come out by now. It was scheduled for, like, fall, winter of 2025, so I have no idea. It could drop any second, really. So that's a complete freaking... That's a complete just black box. I have no idea when that's going to drop. My next planned stream game is actually Chrono Trigger. I bought that a few months ago. Actually, a little sad because I know Hollow Blossoms has been playing it. I usually love her streams, but I've had to skip them so I don't spoil myself. And so once we finish Metaphor, I don't know what the new Thursday would be. I do know, and I should have said this earlier, realistically. I should have said this earlier, and I should advertise it more. This Sunday, we will not be playing Metaphor. This Sunday, we will be doing a marathon start-to-finish run of Dispatch. Because I hadn't heard of the game, and I didn't know about it until it came out, and I'm like, oh, geez. First of all, this is going to blow up the internet. Second of all, it looks like a lot of fun. I love the Telltale games. But it came out literally like the day I left to go to Europe. And so I was actually originally thinking of maybe doing it today, but doing an 8-hour stream the second I come back from my is just a terrible idea. So we're doing that Sunday. That'll be lots of fun. It's definitely popular for an indie game. I'm not sure I'd call it an indie game. I mean, I guess you could say it's an independent studio, but I mean, they're established. It's an established studio. It's an established team. They didn't just pop out of the ether. At some point, I'd like to stream Disco Elysium, so that might become the Thursday game. But we're talking about, like, January at this point, so... That's a ways away. And there are other things, too. Like, obviously, I want to play Fortnite when the One Piece content gets added. But I don't know when that's going to happen. Oh yeah, I also want to do a Persona 3 analysis compilation, just of all the analysis shorts that I did. So I have ideas. At some point, I just need to sit down and make a schedule for it. But it's tough, especially just coming back from the trip. It's like, oh my goodness, it's so easy to feel overloaded with all the things that I could be doing, all of the things that could be happening. At some point, I just need to make like a to-do list, like a long schedule for myself. Yeah, set deadlines. So I don't know when some of these are going to be done. It's also like at some point in the next week, probably, I need to set a day aside just for working on D&D, like my home game. 'Cause if you give me a day, I can prep for like the next 3 locations pretty quickly. I just need to actually sit down and do it. That's what I mean. So easy to be distracted. What would you say? It's like analysis paralysis, choice paralysis. There's so many things you could be doing that's it's difficult to decide what you should be doing, and a lot of times you just kind of fizzle, you just kind of freeze, and then not doing any of them, which is a problem. It's kind of the downside to becoming a bit more ambitious with streaming and having bigger goals. But it is what it is. In any case, this was good. We don't need to do another round. My brain's frying anyway. I'm not sure there's much more I'd have to say. Could say. Excuse me. I think I'll just see who's live. Maybe there's someone I can raid. Oh, the jet lag. Oh, Hollow Blossoms and Zurich are streaming.